civil unions and how are they different from marriage? What the lawmakers have intended in going for civil unions as opposed to going for marriage equality was to provide all the benefits and protections, all 648 of them, that the state currently provides to same-sex couples, now to couples in a civil union. And there's a range of those protections. Some of the very, very crucial ones that really drove our fight day and night are emergency medical decision powers. For example, two people, same-sex couple right now, before June 1st, if they are in an emergency medical situation and they rush to a hospital and they say, we're partners, I have to, I am here and I'll make the emergency medical decisions on behalf of my partner, the hospital can choose to say, no, we don't recognize you, we're not going to listen to you. And unless you have healthcare powers of attorney, unless the partner was alert enough when you arrived to say, I designate this person to make the decisions for me or to visit beyond visiting hours, you have no standing. And after June 1st, those who are in the civil union will have that protection of the law to say they recognize you as a civil union couple. They have that standing to make those decision making for each other. They have the standing to spend any time of day and night in a hospital together, if that's needed. Taxation. Right now, when same-sex couples in Illinois, when they file taxes on April 15th, because of course close our taxes for this year, people in same-sex relationships have to file taxes separately, which also meant that when there are certain income ceilings for certain credits, they couldn't combine their incomes to raise the ceiling higher and therefore qualify for those credits. So they were economically disadvantaged by the laws that did not recognize those couples. When we file taxes next year, same-sex couples in the civil union will be recognized, will be able to take advantage of those couples, of those tax breaks of fair taxation, and be taxed just like heterosexual couples in a marriage. Also, inheritance. Today, people in a same-sex relationship, all the property they build together in their relationship, if they buy a home, if they buy a car, if they invest, if they have investments, if one of them passes away before civil unions, the other one inherits that. It's taxed as though that was a lottery winning, as though it sort of came from the sky, and they're taxing that as income. After civil unions, after June 1st, they will inherit that property just as heterosexual couples inherit that property, which is joint property where they inherit it without being taxed on it. And these benefits go on and on and on. Some of them, even though they're included, we hope most of you will never take advantage of. One of them is conjugal visitation rights for those who are incarcerated in prison. But
I like that. I got a class.
And even though that's a right that I hope you will never have to take advantage of, it's a right that if somebody gets that right, then everyone in that same position should be able to take advantage of that right. And we fought for that. We fought to make sure that civil unions are entirely equal in their protections, and that's not one of the rights that same-sex couples will have. Now, what don't civil unions provide? And they don't provide any of the federal rights that currently afford married couples. So while, and we see parallels in that, so while under state law, couples in a civil union will be taxed the same way as married couples would, under federal law they won't. And that creates a lot of headaches actually in all our sister states, because when you fill out a state tax form, for example, it says, what is your adjusted gross income for the two of you if you're a civil union couple? Well, you don't have adjusted gross income on a federal tax form, so you have to file your taxes separately with the IRS, then create a fictional IRS form as if you were the federal government recognized you as a married couple, and then use that number for your state form. That's going to create a lot of complication. Again, with federal benefits and protections, and there are over 1,100 of them, none of them will be afforded to same-sex couples in a civil union, because the federal government will continue to deny recognition to same-sex couples in their relationship. Now, there are still some ways around that, and let's talk about some of the other crucial protections that are not provided by state, but now will be afforded to same-sex couples. For example, if you work for an employer that provides insurance benefits to spouses of its heterosexual employees, all those employers in the state of Illinois will now be required to provide the same benefits that they provide to heterosexual employees in a same-sex relationship as well. And that's going to be a crucial benefit. And those benefits, which were previously taxed to you under state law as an income, will now be taxed under state law as an income to you annually. So civil unions, as Caroline mentioned, is not the end of our strategy. We believe in full equality, and full equality means in name as well as in the intention. And so what we're going to do is we're going to track the implementation of civil unions, make sure that they're implemented just as lawmakers have intended for them to be implemented. We'll just provide all the benefits and protections. And if they're not, and we suspect from our experience in sister states that they're not, they would go back to the legislature where and say, here are the facts. Here's where you're intended for them to be equal, here's where they're not equal, and here's how you're going to do that. So what we need all of you to do is to register for the civil union tracker. What you will get right away is you will get the tools to help you understand what all of your rights and benefits and protections are. And what we will do is periodically we'll check in with you and see how your experience as being a couple in a civil union is working out. We're going to ask you how, if you've been to a hospital, for example, and if your relationship was recognized. If when you went to a county clerk's office or when you went to dealt with a state agencies or wherever else, if they recognized a civil union, if you were treated the same way that you would expect America would be treated. And that's going to give us that crucial information that we need to understand if they really are being implemented as the lawmakers have intended for them to be implemented. So,
interject there for just a second. We have postcards. There's a little table right when you walked in. We have postcards explaining what the civil union tracker is, as well as the website. So, you can just sign up online. It's pretty easy. And also, some of the information that we'll be covering. We have a handout called Understanding Civil Unions. There's quite a few of them back there, but it's also on our website. So, just so you know, you don't have to take copious amounts of notes, but a lot of the basic stuff is covered in the frequently asked questions.
And so right after you're done with this forum tonight, do get one of those cards. And if you don't get a chance to get one of those cards, go to our website, equalityillinois.org, and register for the Civil Union Tracker. It will take you less than a minute. It will help us continue to fight for full equality for same-sex couples in Illinois. And I just want to also mention what we're doing to protect civil unions, because just because we passed civil unions and the governor signed them on January 31st, it doesn't mean that the fight for civil unions even is over. Those of you who follow us and read our news alerts know that just 3 weeks ago, there was an attempt to dilute civil unions and weaken them by allowing child welfare agencies to reject same-sex couples in the civil union from adoptions and foster care licensing and many other instances. And we thought that tooth and nail, but we only won by 1 vote. And we knew then that the battle was not over. And today, while we were preparing for this meeting for tonight, we learned that a Representative Dwight Gay has introduced the bill in State House Representatives to dilute civil unions again. There's an amendment to the Civil Unions Bill that again would allow any religiously affiliated child welfare agency to reject same-sex couple and civil union outright from their application to adopt a foster.
I'm going to interject again. If you're not on our email list and you want to know this kind of information, because we do try and update people, especially when these kinds of things happen, pretty quickly. If you want to be a part of that, please also sign up for our email list.
And we have our business cards out there as well. If you forget our website, even though it's equalityillinois.org, it's easier to remember. If you have some questions you want to ask one of us, do feel free to call or email or reach out to us anyway. But the single easiest way to keep involved is just signing up for our email alerts. As soon as it's happened today, we send an action alert to all of our members to let them know this is happening. We have a bipartisan powerhouse, the advocacy team on the ground in Springfield. They have the connections that we need to have to understand when these bills are coming up so that we can fight them. But we can't fight them. If 20 of you calling your state representative and your state senators is much more powerful than us calling 20 times to the representative and saying, we've got to get this done. Because they will listen to you because you vote, you can change their office rather than listening to us when they see oftentimes is just, gay rights advocates. I will leave it there because I know you have questions about civil unions, and no question is difficult for us. If we don't know the answer, we will take note of it. We'll definitely make sure to answer every question you have.